and Steve Maughan is right there. He's the managing director. And Timothy is your bartender, and Shara is your box office person. Everybody else is a volunteer because they really run the place. With 300 shows, believe me, they run the place. So give them a hand, please. How many are you here for the very first time at the Nash? Quite a few of you, right? About 25% or so? Great. Well, that triggers about a 30-minute speech on who we are, but I know that's not why you're here tonight, so I'm going to make it very short. But I do want you to know that we are a nonprofit organization. That's very important. And we are actually Jazz in Arizona. We've been around since 1977, and we were formed to create a jazz community in the desert. And a little over 10 years ago, we realized we were creating a community, but we didn't have nearly enough young people involved, and we very intentionally created the Nash to be a place where we could bring young people into this art form through our education programs and by exposing them to great jazz players and giving them an opportunity to play with the legends. So that's what we do, and we've been on Downbeat Magazine's list of great jazz venues in the world for 7 years, and or more than that, actually, 8 years now. And we have very robust educational programs that for young people interested in jazz that they'll find no place else. You know, if you're in high school and you want to play jazz, you can be in the marching band or you may be in a stage band, but there's no combo programs. And if you're going to be a jazz musician, you're going to want to be playing in combo. So we have ensemble programs here that are coached by college-level educators, like Eric Rasmussen, coaches one of the legacy groups. And of course, it doesn't hurt to have Louis Nash engaged in it, who is, as you all know, one of probably the top jazz drummer in the world on probably 500 CDs and has played with all the jazz luminaries over his 40-year career. So that's why his name is on the building. And as I said, we're a nonprofit, which means we are supported by ticket revenue and all the liquor you're going to drink and water, and the rest of it is philanthropic support. So for as little as $10 a month, you could be a sustaining donor to the Nash. For $100 a month, you can be a member of the Louis Nash Legacy Circle. If you want to make a one-time donation tonight, there were some people that were so moved by my speech last night that they just couldn't help but donate money. I don't know. So that's why I'm here. So, but anyway, and as I say at every show, there's no upper limit. So if you want to help us more, we need a new building. So so we'd love to have your support. Anyway, you can see me or Steve or any one of the volunteers or people up front, and they can help you further. And just want to tell you very quickly, we've got great shows coming up. In fact, next Sunday, we have Joe Lovano and Louis Nash doing a duo performance. So if you don't think that's going to be fireworks. So there are tickets for that. I suggest you go home and sign up for that one. And then the following week, we have the Jeff Hamilton Trio. And we have Roberta Gambarini coming to do a house party, and Bruce Foreman, wonderful guitarist, and on and on. So please check out the programs coming up. Well, tonight, 2 years after the fact, because we were supposed to do this show before COVID, and you know what happened. So we're very pleased tonight to present the Scottsdale Jazz Band with a lady who in the last 2 years has been, things have happened in her career, so we're just darn lucky that we were still able to get her. She's on the cover of Downbeat Magazine this month. She was signed by Blue Note Records and has an album that just came out. And she's going to be right here on our stage at the Nash. So please give a warm welcome to Eric Rasmussen, the Scottsdale Jazz Band, and Melissa Aldana.
Thank you, folks. How about the Scottsdale Community College Jazz Orchestra? That was a piece called Acceptance. And we've accepted that Melissa is here to play with us this evening. And we're happy about that. That was premiered by the Frankfurt Radio Big Band with the great arranger Jim McNeely, who did all of this music. Really one of the greatest arrangers in the world, really in the history of this music. So we're doing 3 of his arrangements, starting with that one. You also heard from Alana Costa on soprano saxophone. Ray LeBert on guitar. That's everyone, right? Cool. I'm going to turn this over to Melissa, and she can talk about the next piece.
Good evening. How are you doing? Good? It's crazy. It's finally happening. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, this was the last gig of our tour, and it got canceled the week, yeah, we were about to come here a day before. So I'm very grateful to be here and to be able to play music with all of you and with this great big band. So the first tune that you heard is a tune from my first album that is called Visions. It's an album that was inspired on the work of Frida Kahlo. And the next tune is a tune that I recorded on my latest album, that is called Emilia. And my latest album, which is called 12 Stars, talks about my journey through the pandemic, my personal story. And Emilia is the third tune of the album, and it's in the part of the pandemic where I couldn't sleep, and I was having all these crazy dreams. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. Yes? The very beginning, just the anxiety of what is gonna happen. So I had all these super out dreams, but I had one that kept repeating, and this one was, I was a mom, and I had a baby that her name was Emilia, and every night I was trying to make her fall asleep, and I was singing the melody of this tune. And it's the first dream that I had like a couple times. So one of the nights I was able to remember the melody, and I wrote it. So this is Emilia.
Alex Ewan on tenor saxophone.
It's better so I don't have to tell the stories for the next set because we're gonna play a lot of some of the tunes that we just play. These are actually the old versions of the tunes I recorded on the new album. So it's better to tell this story right now. So the next tune, the name is called Los Ojos de Chile, which I'm not sure it makes much sense in English, but it means the eyes of Chile. And you know, in 2019, there was a huge political explosion in Chile where thousands of people were on the streets protesting to make a change in the way that the government was running things. You know, a lot of the people that were that are part of the government in Chile are people that were part of the dictatorship. So it got to a point after many events that people just got tired. And everyone was on the streets protesting, you know. And it was the first time that I felt part of something bigger, you know. I felt a Chilean. And this is something that has marked a lot of us, you know. So during this time, we were trying to find a way to support what was going on there, you know. So we decided to do a concert, and we found out about this foundation that is called The Eyes of Chile, Los Ojos de Chile. And it was a foundation that was raising money for people that lost their sight, because when they were protesting outside, the cops were throwing gas bombs. So thousands of people lost their sight. So I just wrote a tune inspired on that, and this is called Los Ojos de Chile.
That drum solo builds so much tension, right? Connor Sample on drums. You also heard from Charles Smith on piano. And Ray LeBear on guitar. All right, we got a couple of more. These are older ones. These were arranged by the great Alan Baylock, who's currently at the University of North Texas. Again, one of the great arrangers. Melissa really has like the best arrangers doing her music. It's pretty amazing. So I was able to get in touch with these folks who I know and get the charts, and it's been great joy working through this stuff. Anything you want to say about any? Yeah. Okay, great.
I can always talk. So yeah, I mean, most of the music that I write is always in relationship to a story, you know, and I like to tell the story because I don't have words to express what is the story, but if I explain you what it's about, you can have a better idea to connect with the music. So I wrote, this was like maybe 4 years ago, I had a commission and I decided to write a suite inspired on something in relationship with visual arts, which is something that I was always very drawn as a kid. And, you know, as a South American, I grew up with with the idea of Frida Kahlo, you know, and so I started getting, really into learning about her story. And in the beginning, the main inspiration was to trying to do something with the visual art. But as I started learning about his story, I was really amazed by the way that he approached her art, which to me is a very honest reflection of who she is as a human being. And that is sort of the inspiration I got from her to write this music. So the first part of the movie is called Frida, but the third moment, which I want to tell this story, is called La Madrina, which means the godmother. And this is based on a story that I made out of everything I read. And so the story is that like when Frida was very young, she had a car accident, a bus accident, and she was in the hospital in coma for a long time. And after a couple months, like she's having a vision in one of the nights, and she sees a tunnel, and she sees a light at the very end of the tunnel, and then she sees a ghost that comes to her, and it tells her what will happen if she stays alive, or gives her the option to die and go to eternity and be peaceful. And Frida decided to stay alive, and throughout her journey, every time that she was encountered something difficult, this ghost, who she named La Madrina, will come to her and tell her, you can still die and forget about all of this. So this scene talks about the different choices that we make in life. So this is called, this is the suite and the first and third moment.
Yes. Don't say second, because they'll freak out. Them. We haven't rehearsed that one. Well, we did, but that was 2 years ago. James Cass on trumpet. James Cass on trumpet. All right, a little housekeeping. We're going to play one more piece. How about another round of applause for the Scottsdale Community College Jazz Orchestra? There's some great shows coming up. Next Sunday, Joe Lovano, Lewis Nash, duo. Don't miss it. And she studied with Joe Lovano. Like, the lineage is there. It's kind of cool, right? That's it. Thank you. We're going to play this one tune, and then we're going to take a break. And what I ask is we have to strike the stage as quickly as possible so we can get it set up for the quartet. We're going to bring some stands and stuff through here to that back door. So if we can keep a little space here before you jump up, give us a chance to get some stuff out, that would be awesome. Much appreciated. Of course, you can't leave. The door's locked, so just make room. So we're going to finish with the third Vision Suite. Once again, thanks so much for Melissa for being here. Here we go. That would take too long. The band. Yeah, the band. Trust me, I think of these things, but we got to move it along. I'll tell you all their names out the break if you want to. Scottsdale Community College Jazz Orchestra. Melissa Aldana. Connor Sample on drums. Kenji Wagner on trumpet. Thank you all for being here. We'll get these folks off the stage as soon as we can. We couldn't play an encore if we wanted to. Maybe In the Mood. Ready? 1. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with the quartet. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Charles Smith on piano.